And Tier S characters Fenriru, Ferencia, Horus, Aiken are the best characters in Echocalypse.
사버린다. 同感っていきますよ。さあ行きましょう。
Hey folks, welcome to MokzZ Gaming channel.in. Today video we talking about Echocalypse tier list. Here I shall provides a comprehensive overview of the Echocalypse tier list. Tier list is the best way to start off your journey in Echocalypse, and in this video, you will find Echocalypse best characters. I should note is that, this Echocalypse tier list will only serve as a guide on which SSR you might want on your Echocalypse team depending on a lot of stuff like Echocalypse team comp, links, how many stars that SSR has, and such. Because on making a team, before you continue on the tiers, this tier list is based on my opinion regarding their overall strength in all aspects of the game, example, cage fight, expedition, host, and abyss dive to name a few, so some cases might excel on a single content but struggle on everything else might put her lower than others. You can use my list of Echocalypse characters tier list to determine which ones are the best characters for Echocalypse PvP. Please give me a like if you are useful. Thanks. Let's take a look at the ranking standards or tier rating guide before moving on to the Echocalypse characters tier list. The units in the game Echocalypse are the characters you will use to battle opponents in both PvP and PvE modes. Not all Echocalypse characters are strong. Some perform best when coupled with specific characters or require synergy, whereas others are effective throughout all game types and don't require synergy to realize their full potential. And I would not discuss their attack, skill, passive, and extra passive on this, as this would make this guide too long and unnecessary. I suggest you read their skills to further understand what I'm trying to say. Let's starting with the must-have tier. We have Audrey and Pan. These two are what I consider a staple on every team. Not necessarily gives the biggest damage, but they provide super good support that may make or break your run on a stage PvP. Audrey, her skill is really useful on bursting round 1 on all contents, especially useful on abyss dive. Silence on auto, ATK buff, and +2 rage on her skill are really useful. Also, another ATK buff on her passive makes her really good support overall. Pan, big shield. You can honestly do a stage without taking any damage because of her. Top tier on PvP and can offer great survivability on other contents. Also, offer a block % buff and ATK down debuff on enemies. And tier S characters Fenriru, Ferencia, Horus, Aiken are the best characters in Echocalypse. Onto the S tiers, where we would see main DMG dealers of different team comps. On this tier, putting multiple S tiers on a team is not as good as just building around them, since, as I said earlier, synergy is also an important part of team building. Fenriru, maybe a bit biased here, but a really great AoE DMG dealer. Not only is she free, you can also have a free link on her, which is good. Not much to say about her other than top tier DPS, post-nerf, but still great. Ferencia, she would be your main DMG dealer for burn teams. Big DMG and good synergy to other burn users. Horus, give the highest DMG possible in-game. Like FR, her skills make it that you deal double DMG on top of her already high DMG when an enemy has armor break, would explain further later. Not only that, on higher star level also increases crit and crit DMG by 50%. Hitting a crit would give around 2 times more and another 1.5 times because of increased crit DMG. So that's a multiply by 6 if you hit all of those conditions. Aiken, not available yet but also a great DPS alongside Fenriru. High chance of crit and additional damage when enemies are 50% HP below. Also, she counters burn team because of her skill, needs high stars though. Now the A tiers. These would be your other support characters alongside your main DPS. They either provide more DMG, stuns, and debuffs, but some also give you buff. Vivi, probably S tier if only her other passives work, Bug ATM. She is your rage debuffer / additional DMG but also buffs your allies with her silent immunity passive and rage increase to allies from her extra passive. Great unit to have overall, just need mid-high investment. Set, another supportive case, her main job is to protect her allies by taking the DMG they received. So another useful tank if you want more survivability, very straightforward. Need to be 1 star to shine. Regina, another DMG dealer alongside Ferentia on the burn team. Applies burn to the enemy and also buffs herself by giving dodge % up and pierce % up. Zawa, also a DMG dealer but also provides insane debuff to up to 4 enemies. Great unit overall. Shiyu, a staple member for a burn comp. She's the main one reapplying the burn onto enemies plus also revives 1 ally including herself. Her burn hurts like hell too. Yulia, debuffer / semi-tank. Commonly put at the second spot, front middle. Taunts enemies, basically silence. Niz, great DMG dealer but mainly used for her freeze skill wherein she can potentially freeze up to 4 enemies at once which can be clutch on PvP and other content. Neftis, an AoE healer for the burn team and also, heals all allies on her skill plus an ATK buff from her extra passive. Burns 4 enemies at R1. Dina, another great healer, semi-tanky too because of her passive. She only heals 2 allies but with a chance to heal all allies with 50% HP and below. Also removes debuff on higher star levels. And B tier, these units are still good and I would still look to pick a member here if synergy is there. They're not necessarily bad, but they're the best at what they do. Wadjet, a must-have if you're planning to run Horus on your team. She's the only one who can apply armor break on enemies. Still a great unit if not paired with Horus, reduces defense and DMG reduction. Kiki, she has high DMG, good debuff with defense, and crit residential down. Definitely good though, just need a high investment to work well. GRY Pitch, another member of the burn team with great DMG and decent debuff. Very straightforward though. To wear it, Bunk Queen, great for cleaning up, great DMG too since she has defense down. Mori, the best single target DMG dealer in the game. Most use in host purification, great unit overall, need decent gear to shine. Garrula, great unit C.C overall, decent DMG, can stun up to 3 people, reduce their healing received, and also can't be stunned, freeze, and taunt when low on HP%. Beam, great DMG dealer, since she does more damage the lower her health, also works with shield. Passive is buggy, only immune to one instance of DMG instead of the whole round. Rion, interesting case, great DMG, as of writing this guide we don't have any idea about induction yet. But when her HP is low, can dodge 2 instances of DMG of any kind, which is nice. Finally, for C tier, I don't want to talk about them individually. It's just they lack unique things to do. Plus they need more star-ups to shine, they don't provide much support. DMG is mediocre at best, and debuffs are not that good anyway. Mainly used for links. And D tier, just don't. You're better off using Snazana/Nanook rather than using these two unless you have them at high star level. Well, above's it for this Echocalypse tier list for PvP and PvE. I'll leave